In the back, go ahead. Yeah.
I know.
No, go ahead. Yeah, this young lady.
I'm trying to help you too.
No, I know. Thanks for the help, but I got it. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Thank you. So,
No.
Sorry, me?
Yeah.
Same with Karine. We're sort of seeing a lot of House Republicans push back on the Supreme Court ruling, sort of encouraging the Texas governor to ignore it. People like
Can you
Chip-
start from the beginning? I missed the beginning of your question.
That's okay. So we're seeing sort of House Republicans encourage Texas to ignore the Supreme Court ruling. Representative Clay Higgins also sort of said it's a civil war. Is that rhetoric helpful to solve the situation at the border?
None of it is helpful. That rhetoric is not helpful. The political stunts are not helpful. They're just not. They're not dealing with the issue that we're seeing at the border. What we have asked and what we have said, let's work in a bipartisan way. That's why we are very grateful to what the senators are doing right now in negotiating in a bipartisan way in good faith to come up with a solution on a system that has been broken for decades, an immigration system that has been broken for decades. And so you have Republicans coming together, Democrats coming together in the Senate to actually figure out what are the policy changes that we can, meaningful policy changes that could be put forth, what's the funding stream that is needed to deal with the border, and that's what we want to see, and that's what we appreciate. All of the political stunts that some of them put Border Patrol agents' lives in danger. It puts migrants' lives in danger. That's not helpful. That is not helpful at all. Okay, Courtney.
Thank you. Will President Biden renominate Todd Edelman for a seat on the U.S. District Court for the District of Columbia? There was reporting that that's not going to happen.
So I'm not going to get ahead of the president's nomination process, so just don't have anything to preview. I'm just not going to get ahead of the process at this time. Good, sir.
So, knowing that there's bipartisan negotiations happening in the Senate right now when it comes to the supplemental, obviously House Republicans are not involved. We do know Speaker Johnson was obviously here at the White House meeting with President Biden. Is the White House or President Biden, any administration officials, speaking directly with House Republicans about this, knowing that they're basically saying that it's dead on arrival, whatever comes out of the Senate?
Well, look, the president spoke to this last week a little bit too. He said, he called out, he said to House Republicans, do you really want to actually fix this problem? Do you really actually want to do the work that's needed to deal with the issue that we're seeing at the border? Do you really want to fix this immigration system? I'm adding on to what the president said, but that's a question for House Republicans. I think we have proven, Republicans in the Senate and Democrats in the Senate have proven that we actually want to work on this issue, on this broken system. And so, look, if they are real about this, if they want to fix this problem, then they would get involved. They would get involved, but they haven't, right? You heard me say back at the end of last year, they left in the middle of December while negotiations were happening with Republicans in the Senate and the Democrats in the Senate. So, this is a real problem. This is an issue that Americans care about, and they want to see it done in a bipartisan way. That's what we're trying to do. That's what we're trying. I don't know why House Republicans continue to get in the way.
But outside of the meeting last week, have they been in constant contact at all with House Republicans?
Look, don't have any specific communication or conversations to read out. Obviously, it came up in the meeting that the president had last week with leadership, and that it was obviously about Ukraine and the importance of America supporting Ukraine and their fight for freedom. But obviously, as well, border security came up, and there was an agreement. There was an agreement with folks in the room that we needed to deal with both issues. Both issues were really important, and so that's what I will leave you with. But House Republicans could speak for themselves, and we are saying to them, why are they getting in the way? Why don't they come to the table and actually have these negotiations with us as well? Way in the back, go ahead.